Hello everyone, I am Erika of Beadingschool.com and you are watching No One Has to Bead Alone, my weekly free beading workshop to make sure that every beader all around the world has company and inspiration. So before we would start, please let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. I would like to make sure that all the technical stuff is all right before we would start. You can watch, by the way, today's broadcast from the Beading School Club and also from the Beading School Facebook page. And later we will also upload the recording to YouTube. So it will be available there too. And good morning, Cynthia, and hi, Corinne. And Sarah says she can hear me and see me. Thank you so much for confirming. And Linda is here, and Teresa, and Sharon, and Connie, other Teresa, and Sherry, and Sue, and Gunel. Thank you, Corinne. And hi, Claire, and Sandra, and Miriam, and Petra, and Marianne. We are in super nice company today. Thank you so much, Claire, too. Corinne also mentioned my yellow top. It's actually a vintage blues that I bought in a cute little shop in Amsterdam. And it's like newly made from old fabric, and I love that when something but otherwise would not be used gets a new life again. So and of course I had to pair it with gray, like last year's Pantone color combination. Thank you so much, ladies. And Katja, Deb, Liv, Antoinette, Kata made it home from work. And Facebook user friends, Cindy. Hi, Cindy. If I haven't said your name, then it's because I don't see your name. I love to greet everyone personally, but if you are watching from the Beading School Club, then it can happen that you haven't clicked the link on top of the video, so I don't see your name. So if you would like to do that, then you can click on the link, and it's that easy. And Christine is here, and Anita, and Ginny. So what are we going to do today? Today we are going to bead the Triumph Tulip set. So this is one of the first jewels that I designed from the Tulip Mania box that is landing on your bead mats these days. But of course, for No One Has to Bead Alone for Friday's workshop, I'm always selecting the bead shapes, sizes that are easily accessible and that probably you already have in your own stash, even if you don't have the Tulip Mania box, to make sure that you can join easily and work with us, so no one has to bead alone. And today's motif, it can become anything that you would like it to be. I made my original into a bracelet, but then I had the idea to bead matching earrings too, so I'm completing my pair today. But it can also be a cute pendant or even a different kind of bracelet. If you downloaded the tutorial from NoOneHasToBeadAlone.com, I always have a PDF file available for you at NoOneHasToBeadAlone.com that you can either download for free and then accept my helping hand, or you can decide to buy for €5 and support the broadcast. So a new feature of the PDF file is newer. We started to do it with the ladies, with Veronka and Susie, a little while ago. So a new feature of the PDF file is the ideas for the motif page. at the back. So after looking into the material list, it's actually really nice also to look at the last page, because there we like to include some ideas for you how you can use the motif in different ways, not only how I or Zuzi or Veronka beaded the prototype. So in this case, you can see the earrings, the bracelets with the bezeled chatons in between. But of course, you can also just use the motif itself. You can put it in a filigree. A filigree is a solution for everything, as we were joking yesterday in the club. You can make a pendant with a little peyote bale. It's completely up to you. So what do we need for the Triumph Tulip? In the meanwhile, Ula joined us, and Marta, and Aniko, and Gunnel. Thank you, Gunnel. Malka. Cynthia says she loves this bracelet. I'm really happy. It's nice to wear it. It's so like delicate with the negative space between the fire polished beads that I think it will be a very pleasant look for the upcoming summer. And Margaret is here, Annette is here, Niti, Nicolene is here, Martina, Jessica. Welcome, ladies. So let's look into the material list. That what do we need for today's motif? For the main motif itself, shall I put on my hand camera to show you the shapes? I will. So we will start with some 4mm BICONE beads. I used the one in rose opal. These are PRECIOSA 4mm BICONE beads. Then in the middle, I have attached some 4mm, again, PRECIOSA Suwon rhinestones. By the way, my colleague Timmy, she was uploading lots of 4 and 6mm PRECIOSA Suwon rhinestones during the past days. If you were waiting for a color that was sold out for quite some time, then we managed to restock them this week and even put together some new rhinestone boxes, of course, including the new colors too. So you can put one of those, the 4mm ones, in the middle of the little square that we are creating from the BICONE beads. And then I used 2 colors of the 3mm fire polished beads. So I used the 2 colors that come in the Tulip Mania box. By the way, Miriam, I see you. Miriam is saying, this morning, finally, I decided to join the academy. Miriam chose the yellow level. But now, you won't believe it. I wonder if I could already upgrade to a box. Dear Miriam, thank you so much and congratulations on making this very, very wise decision. And there are still some spots available. So what you can do now, just head over to beadingschoolacademy.com, choose the level you like, turquoise or fuchsia, and then go to your private profile on the page and cancel the yellow. It's that easy, and write an email to us and we will sort it out. So 3mm fire polished beads. You can go for 1 color, or you can also go for 2 colors, of course. And then what else? Oh, BICONE beads. More BICONE beads. 3mm BICONE beads. This is one of my new colors that I got from the treasury, also included in the box. It's light amethyst. So that's at the top and the bottom of the motif that makes it this nice eye shape. So That's for the end. And okay, those were the big beads that we need. And then for the small beads, you will need size 15 MIYUKI round seed beads. I combined 3 different colors, but you can simplify it if you want to. Then size 11 round seed beads, and then some MIYUKI DELICAs. I used 2 colors, but again, there are not many MIYUKI DELICAs in this, so you can again simplify it if you would like to. And for the personalization, because what I like about these small motifs, that instead of offering you one solution, how you can make one possibility, how you can make your jewels, there are many, many possibilities how you can personalize what you make. Your earring, your bracelet, your pendant, they can become very different from one beader to another. And usually when I come back online on Monday, after being offline for the weekend, I really love to see how you make your motif, make the little motifs your own, how you add the little extra details. So there are plenty of possibilities to personalize this too. I have here a bunch of things from the box, but of course there are, I'm sure, lots of possibilities in your beading stash too, how you can personalize the motif. So here, on top of the bezel chaton, I added this double flower to make it more eye-catching, with a matching BICONE in the middle. It's one of the 4mm rose opal BICONEs that and the size 15 MIYUKI round seed bead in the middle of the flower. So I put it on top of the chaton, but one of my favorite solutions is to add something at the bottom that can hang from your earring. And you can put there the tulip. This would be fitting, I think. You can use the other tulip too. You can use a glass drop-in metal setting. The colors are always matching in the box, so it's easy to make your choice. You don't have to worry about the colors. You can use the filigree. Or some of you actually mentioned yesterday I published the new tutorial, the first signature jewel, and then I noticed that some of you said that you are not especially fond of dagger beads. So if you would like to use them up in a different way, then you can also hang a dagger bead at the bottom of the motif if you don't like the look of this and you would like to change the daggers for something else. So, do you have any questions about the Triumph Tulips material list? If you have any other questions than the Triumph Tulip, then from now on, I would like to ask you to wait with those extra questions until the end of the broadcast. And then when we finish beading this, then I will answer all your additional questions. So Niti says the tulip looks lovely as a drop. I agree. Someone saying, you ladies can send me all your daggers that you don't want. I don't see your name, unfortunately, but I love your comment. You can also send them to me. I actually had to place an order from the treasury because I had only one color of dagger beads. And then I ordered them all. Okay, not all, but lots of them. Vanya, it's Vanya. Hi, Vanya. Good to have you during a live. So if you don't have questions, okay, Miriam also says that she loves the daggers. Connie also. Janet says, hi, Janet. And hi, Sarah, I saw you joining. Janet says, I wouldn't have thought of using the tulips as drops. Great idea. And hi, Jessica. Jessica says, my bead mat looks like a battlefield. I have a confession. My table, except my bead mat, looks like a battlefield. And since Adam is not at home this week, then even the table in the kitchen looks like a battlefield. I have exactly 5 hours, 6 from now, to clean at least the kitchen table and put away my beads, so he doesn't get a heart attack until after he comes home today. And Niti is here. Oh. Okay, Janet made me feel better. She says, mine always looks like that. And thank you, Niti, for your generous offer. The beads are the new daggers are already on their way. And Belinda, hi. And let's get started. Let's start beading. I want to complete my earring. So, where's the tutorial? Here it is. So, as you can see, then we will start with 4 pieces of 4mm BICONE beads. And we pick up, okay, and also some MIYUKI DELICA size 11s. We start with the DELICA, and then we continue with the BICONE. We will pick up 4 DELICA beads and 4 BICONE beads interchangeably. 1, 2, 3, 4. And once I have this sequence of 8 beads on my FIRELINE, then I let them fall to the end of my FIRELINE, leaving 10-12 centimeters, 5-6 inches for my tail that I will weave in later. And I bead through all the beads one more time to join them into a little square. The delicas will become the corners of the little square, and the bicones become the sides of the little square. And I bead through the very first delica for a third time too. So my tail thread and my working thread, they are both exiting the same delica bead. And I love starting this way because then I can pull my tail thread and I have good tension. So I don't have to tie a knot. And I like to arrange this a little bit so the delicas are pushed outside. And now, starting from the delica bead, I pick up, okay, just a moment, I want to make sure that I use the same color as in my original. As I'm working with 3 colors of round 15s, 2 of them could be what I have on my on the illustration, so I wanted to check. So I pick up 2 round 15s, a 4mm rhinestone, and 2 more round 15s. And I want to attach this sequence of beads in a diagonal through the little square. So I will bead through the MIYUKI DELICA that is exactly opposite of the one that I am exiting. And then I bead back through the whole sequence. And I bead through the DELICA that I was exiting at the beginning. I bead through the next BICONE, and I also bead through another DELICA bead. So I'm finishing step 2 in a DELICA bead that is not yet attached to the rhinestone. I'm going to do that now by picking up 2 more round 15s, by sewing through the open hole of the rhinestone, then picking up 2 more round 15s, sewing through the DELICA opposite of the one that I was exiting at the beginning of this step, and sewing back through all the 5 beads, round 15s, and the sew one in the middle. And I finish step 3 by beading through the DELICA that I was exiting at the beginning of step 3. So ladies, is it okay by now? And hi sunshine, you are our sunshine. Onit in the meanwhile asks about the battlefield. Isn't it meant to look like that? We are artists. For me, it often becomes like that, but actually I prefer order and being organized, because then I don't lose time when I'm looking for some specific beads. So I feel like getting more strict with myself, getting stricter with myself, and like really labeling everything, putting back everything to the containers, and putting back everything on the shelves, it really helps me to then create more and create better. Of course, it does not stay perfect for a long time, but I try. I keep trying. And hi, Brit Marie. Oh, Sunshine says her doggy will go into is in surgery. I hope he or she gets well soon. And let's look at step 4. So now we are making the motif bigger already. I start with my first color of 3mm round 3mm fire polished beads and some round 15 MIYUKIs in my second color. So I will be adding groups of beads always between the MIYUKI DELICAs. One group of beads consists of round 15, 2 3mm fire polished beads, and another round 15, 4 beads altogether. Then I skip the 4mm BICONE and I bead through the DELICA bead. And I repeat this all around, keeping good thread tension always, picking up the 4 beads, round 15s, and 3mm fire polished beads, and then beading through the next MIYUKI DELICA. Third time. Fourth time. And when I have added the 4th group of new beads, it's nicely snapped into its place, the last group. This is how it looks like. It's a bit, by the way, 3D, this motif, that the rhinestone sits a little bit higher than the fire polished beads. So after adding the last group, I repeat the thread path through the first group, finishing by exiting around 15, with my thread hanging towards the MIYUKI DELICA between two round 15s. Jeanette says it looks nice like that too. And I think there are lots of possibilities, even with this little motif, that we could join several of these into something bigger. I would love to see you experimenting with this, ladies. And hi, Katerina. So now, in step 5, we will be adding round 15s in the same color in between the round 15s. So here are the two round 15s. I am adding a third one in between. And I will be adding round 11 MIYUKI seed beads in between the fire polished beads. So I always cross two beads, fire polished round 15, I pick up round 15, I cross through round 15 and fire polished, and I pick up round 11. So I do this all around the little motif. Connie says, at the moment I have to clean up the mess of 8 weeks. That must be painful, Connie. Oh, I feel you. But, well, actually I don't know how long it took to accumulate the huge mess I have here around my bead mat in my beading room. The kitchen is better. There I had only 5 days to make it messy. But here I was a bit neglecting it for quite some time. There are not only tulip mania beads here all around me, but lots of other stuff too. Now I'm adding the last round 11, and afterwards I continue beading until I am exiting the second one that I have added. I'm going to add more beads now, and I don't want to start that right after the first one that I have added, because then how I pull my thread, I could deform the whole motif. So the tension in the thread is better divided if you bead to the second new group that you have added before you would be adding extra steps. And oh, dear Lutka is saying that lots of noises in her apartment. I hope that the company can calm you down, Lutka, and you can bead hopefully tomorrow. And Ula posted her battlefield. Is that going to be a challenge? That would be fun. Maybe, just maybe, I would be willing to post my battlefields too if you all decide to do that. So, in step 6, in the meanwhile, I will be adding new groups of beads in between the round 15s. So I will be creating arches in between the round 15s. And one arch consists of 4 pieces of round 15s in the third color and 3 pieces of 3mm fire polished beads. So I'm picking them up interchangeably, starting with around 15 and finishing with around 15. So once you have this sequence on your needle, 4 round 15s and 3 fire polished beads, then you bead through the next round 11 on the corner. So this is your first arch. And you do the same over and over. Until you bead it all around. Keep good thread tension, please, at this part, as we especially don't want the arches to be floppy. We will bead through them more times, so they will become even more sturdy than after the first circle. But you need to keep good thread tension anyway. Linda says, I have been reorganizing for 2 days now and still not finished. That's actually why I am procrastinating and I didn't start doing it, because the task is just so, it seems so enormous. At a point I let it go and I didn't put back everything where they belong. And then it became a battlefield. I hope, Sarah, you are all right when you are listening to and reading all these confessions about mess and battlefields and not putting back everything and UFOs maybe and so on. Sarah, you are my hero with your very, very well organized beading space. So I've finished adding the arches between the round 15, between the round 11s, and then after beading through a round 11, I also continue through round 15, fire polished, and round 15. So this is how I finish step 6. How are you doing, ladies? Please let me know in the meanwhile. I would love to know how it's going on your bead mats, not only your battlefields, but also the progress as that you are making with your Triumph tulips. By the way, all the names of jewels that I am selecting now during this theme, they are coming from types of tulips. So always, I don't dare to actually pronounce the name of this, bleu, aimable, amable. I don't speak French and it must be ridiculous. But this is also a name of a type of a tulip. And Triumph tulip, it's also a type of a tulip, by the way. Oh, and Ira, hi, good to see you again. Says, it's very, very beautiful. I can only do it tomorrow, but today I will see how to do it. So the knowledge will already soak in, and then you can bead it tomorrow. Nice. Miriam says, who is talking about a battlefield? We have only one table, beading table, family table, and kitchen table at the same time. I'm really happy that I have the extra beading room now, or guest room became my workspace, so I can hide here. And Sarah is not listening to us. I'm so sorry for hurting you with all this trash talk about battlefields. Niti says, there is a very pretty white tulip called Dutch Mountain. Hilarious. How? Why? Like, Dutch Mountain. Who was the very creative person who came up with that? When I'm biking and then I check my elevation and it's like 5 meters. And the highest altitude I have been to is -2 under sea level. Don't talk to me about Dutch mountains. So, step 7. We are now making the motif into this nice elongated shape. So I'm exiting around 15, my thread facing the fire polished bead that is in the middle of an arch. I pick up around 15. I pick up a 3mm BICONE. I pick up a MIYUKI DELICA in my second color, another 3mm BICONE, and then another round 15. So it's a group of 5. It's round 15, 3mm BICONE, MIYUKI DELICA, BICONE, round 15. And then I skip the fire polished bead, and I bead through round 15, fire polished round 15, round 11. And then, instead of simply repeating the thread path here in this arch on the side of the motif, I skip the round 15s that are next to the fire polished bead in the middle of the arch. I bead through the first and the last round 15, but I don't bead through these ones that are next to the fire polished bead in the middle, that are like in between fire polished bead. So when I pull my thread, then the round 15s should go to the outside of the arch, and it will become sturdier. And then I repeat the same, that I bead until I'm exiting the round 15, facing the round 15 before the 3mm fire polished bead. I pick up the same sequence, so round 15, BICONE, DELICA, BICONE, round 15, and then I skip the fire polished, and I repeat the thread pass through the other arch while skipping the round 15s before and after the fire polished bead in the middle of the arch. So this is how it looks like. And I repeat in step 8, I repeat the thread path all around the motif through the beads that are on the edge. However, this time I will skip the MIYUKI DELICA at the top and at the bottom. So this part also becomes pointier and sturdier. And then later, as you can see, you can right away join a bezel to this motif in the same way how we were beading it last week. So, and you can either add a peyote bezel or you can add a square stitch bezel. And Jessica has a question. What are you skipping? I am skipping, like when you look at the picture of step 7, then at the bottom and at the top, I am adding the groups with bicones. However, on the sides, on the left and right, I am just beading through the beads, not adding anything. But when I bead through those arches, then I skip the round 15s that are in between the fire polished beads. So when I get here, then I bead through round 15, fire polished, fire polished, fire polished, round 15, but I skip these two to make the arch sturdier. Did it help, Jessica? Oh, and Linda says, in the meanwhile, my box just arrived at my door. What good timing. Enjoy unpacking everything very much, Linda. Oh, and Sarah just made a confession. Actually, I have a bit of a mess today, packing for a bead meeting tomorrow that me and my friend are going to have. We are 18 girls, lots going on, first time after the pandemic. Enjoy it very much, Sarah. That's going to be a really precious meeting, guys, I think, after such a long time. Okay, Jessica is all right. Wonderful. So in step 8, I managed to tie a knot in the meanwhile on my thread, but here actually I'm just finishing repeating my thread pass while skipping the DELICA at the top, at the bottom. So this was step 8, and then I will later add a bezel, cabochon, and all the extra stuff to complete my pair. Ladies, do you have any questions about the Triumph Tulip motif? Or do you have already some ideas that what are you going to make with it? I'm curious. So this is how it would look like, by the way, with the Turkish Rococo filigree. I think it would also be a gorgeous variation as an earring. Or maybe even like layering. No, I would not want to cover it with a dagger. It's too nice. I love this shape. It's really looking forward to finally have it in a box, so you can have it too. So Sunshine says it's beautiful. I think a necklace somehow. Totally possible. Totally possible. And while you ladies are thinking about all the possibilities, then I would like to show you how our Veronka, also a member at the creative team at Beadingschool, made it into a bracelet. So you don't necessarily need to bead lots of motifs if you would like to make a bracelet. As you can see, Veronka beaded a full motif for the middle, and then attached this crystal, this little tulip-shaped drop to the bottom, and made it into a bracelet by adding bicones and round pearls decorated in a similar way. I think it's a super nice idea, and I love her colors too. I really wanted to show it to you. Martha says, I'm thinking of adding a bicone in the middle of the sides. That would be an interesting variation. And then someone is asking, do you only make number of the boxes you have, many are signed up? Do you ever have leftover boxes? If someone would like to purchase just one box, I'm sorry, but we actually never have leftovers. We try to make more and more boxes as there is, I'm very happy to say, super high demand for the boxes, and now is the time when we could actually make a jump and add a bit more boxes, but usually they go super fast and we don't have any leftovers. If you sign up now, then actually you can cancel if you want after one box. So it is possible. It would be a shame to cancel though, but we don't have any extras and leftovers. And Beth says, I love it. I was thinking of doing that with a raw chain or a simple stringing. Totally, even with 6mm round burrs, it would work, I think. And hi, Jennifer. Yasin, I see you now. Oh, Martha also just got it delivered. How fun. And okay, if you don't have any more questions about the motif, keep it coming, by the way. And also, now is the time to ask all kinds of questions if you are curious about something. So next week on Friday, I already have the motif for you for Friday. And this is Stellata, designed by Zuzi. And she used here an 8mm chaton. You can also use a Rivoli, of course. She used seed beads in sizes 15 and 11. She used MIYUKI DELICA's 11, 3mm PRECIOSA BICONE beads, and the 2-hole daggers. So that's what we are going to make next week during No One Has to Bead Alone, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's super pretty. So that's going to be fun. She also used the silk ribbon that's included in the box to give it a bit of an accent color with the green. Still like very soft and on the romantic side. Katja is asking about the restocking of the L2 cabs. We have a little delay there, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that, Katja. We would love to have them restocked, but it takes a bit of time. Actually, if you send an email about that, then Andrea will have more information about this. Just send it to info@beadingschool.com, as she's arranging that part. So that's coming next Friday. And next Tuesday, we are having coffee time with Erika, of course. And on Tuesday, actually, Vicky Roberts, the editor-in-chief of Bead and Jewelry magazine, will be our guest. So when Vicky sent me this picture, then I started to wonder, will it be coffee time or what are we going to drink? But yeah, it will be super fun, no matter what is your preference for your beverage. So Vicky will tell you all about the magazine. You can ask her all kinds of questions. I think it's a really nice opportunity to talk to someone in that position. So I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it. Elena, hi Elena. Elena's box has also arrived. 3 boxes landed on your doorsteps during No One Has to Bead Alone. How funny. So this is next Tuesday. Cynthia is asking, can we order magazines from her if we live in the USA? According to my best information, yes, but Vicky will confirm it to you on Tuesday. So if you don't have more questions left, then I would like to thank you for your attention today. Thank you for all the creative ideas and also the super nice mood and atmosphere in the club during this week. And always, but especially this week. I was alone at home and it felt really, really good to have company. So wishing you all a creative, peaceful weekend and see you next week together with Vicky. Bye-bye, ladies.